that are now a fact. The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009 stipulates that states must have permanent revised laws in place to deal with unemployment compensation. The Act calls for states to extend benefit periods beyond normal terms and also opens up unemployment benefits to persons not eligible under current state law. This would include temporary workers, never been included before. The program, once expanded by state law, would require additional funding to sustain it at larger levels. At the time when federal stimulus dollars are gone, which we know will be inside of 2 years, Missouri businesses will be forced to foot the bill for this expanded program, thus mandating a tax increase on Missouri's job creators, Missouri's employers. We are here to say no. We believe this is imprudent and improvident public policy. Under current state law, only employees fired without cause are eligible for jobless benefits. The proposed revisions may strip that and take away the power of our state and through its elected representatives to decide our own future. We are dedicated to protecting Missourians who have lost their jobs at such a critical time. To put people back to work, Missouri businesses must not be forced to pay higher taxes, to take on additional tax burdens. The bottom line is that over time, inside of 2 years, 24 months or less from the date we stand here, this proposal will result in new taxes for Missouri small businesses and large businesses. Now, I delivered my party's response to the State of the State address last month. With the support of the leaders standing behind me, I said then and will say again, no matter what you want to call it or how you want to say it, we will not raise taxes on Missourians and Missouri businesses. You don't do that at a time of economic downturn. You don't take more resources out of the private sector to hand it over to government. The Unemployment Compensation Fund was created as a safety net and not a way of life. This plan would create an unnecessary burden on businesses, our job creators, and Missourians who have lost their job through no fault of their own. The simple question is, should businesses be forced to pay new taxes, higher taxes, or be allowed to hire more employees? And that is our choice. It's that simple between those two examples. Now, I have been hearing from Missouri employers, both small businesses and some of our largest employers, some of our global companies headquartered in the two large urban areas. They are gravely concerned about this proposal and have urged us to take this action because it will hurt Missouri workers and employers. And we must help workers who have been laid off due to this economy, but we cannot overreach the boundary of our resources at the state level, or we may not be able to get folks back to work. I would now like to invite President Pro Tem Charlie Shields to speak on the issue.
Thank you, Governor Kinder, and appreciate your leadership on this. I was at an event that David Lee was moderating over at the Governor's Mansion just last week, and I heard a member of the minority leadership on the outside said, you know, we're just going to take every single dollar that the federal government gives us out of this stimulus package. And some of us said, you know, we need to look at this a little differently. There will be dollars that we turn away because there are so many strings attached that it creates problems within our state, and we can't sustain something after those dollars leave in our state. This is a perfect example. We know that Missouri businesses are struggling. We know that the unemployment fund has challenges. You know, why would we want to do something that adds a burden to that? It takes dollars and puts them back into taxes that could be dollars that are placed into jobs, and I think that's our challenge we have. I know certainly in my district in St. Joseph we have businesses that continue to struggle. Even within the press, our St. Joseph News Press announced that they're going to lay off workers 1 week out of the 52-week year without pay, struggling. I don't want to add a burden to that as they do that. You know, there are times when the cure is worse than the illness, and this may be one of those cases where the strings that come attached to this create more problems than the money actually provides. And I think it's our job as legislators to be prudent in that, and I appreciate Governor Kinder's leadership on this issue. Thanks.
Thank you.